And this is the latest coming in the Delhi versus LG power tussle rout. Government sources are telling Mirror now that the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has misinterpreted the top court's verdict, and the misinterpretation that the MHA notification has been nullified. These issues, the sources say, will be dealt with separately, and with the verdict, powers of the Lieutenant Governor have not been decreased in the Supreme Court's verdict. So government sources now stating that the Delhi Chief Minister has misinterpreted the top court's verdict, and that the MHA notification is not nullified. That has been misinterpreted by the Chief Minister, and the issues that are contentious will be dealt with separately. Meenakshi Banja now joining us on the phone line. Meenakshi, so government sources telling that Kejriwal has completely misunderstood the top court's verdict, and that the MHA notification of 2015 has not been nullified. All right, we'll try to connect with Meenakshi Banja in just a bit, but this is, of course, yet another development here where the government sources are telling Mirror now that it's Kejriwal's interpretation that the Supreme Court verdict that came out yesterday nullified MHA 2015 notification pertaining to service matters. And the sources say that the Supreme Court would have stated in its judgment if it was overriding it, which it did not. So it's not nullified at the moment. Meenakshi Banja joining us now on the phone line to give us more clarity on what the sources really are stating here. Meenakshi, take us through what is this is source-based information really stating. Take us through the latest here.
Well, Urvashi, this is going to be such interesting days ahead for Delhi. Of course, in the backdrop of this fresh letter that Arvind Kejriwal has written to the LG, relying upon the judgment or the verdict of the Supreme Court from yesterday, in which he is stating as to how that particular verdict has gone ahead and overridden the notification which was issued by the MHA in 2015 pertaining to the issue of services which encompasses the transfer of various bureaucrats within the various ministries in Delhi. Now, that is a point which is being rebutted by some very highly placed sources of the government within the Supreme Court. And they say, like you correctly referred to, that there is no express nullifying of any past notification by the MHA, especially this particular notification pertaining to the services issue from 2015 in yesterday's verdict of the Supreme Court. And if indeed the court had felt the need to nullify it, it would have expressly said so in its 500 plus pages judgment, because it has not. And given the fact that such issues, not just the services issue, Urvashi, but also the stamp duty issue, the issue of appointment of public prosecutors with whom the power vests, outstanding contentious issues as we speak are pending with the Supreme Court. There are about 9 such cases in the Supreme Court at the moment, 2 from the side of the LG and 6 from the side of the Aam Aadmi Party, which the top sources within the Supreme Court have categorically indicated will be dealt with independently by separate benches of the Supreme Court in the foreseeable future.
So it's safe to say, Meenakshi, that the power tussle here between the Delhi government and the Lieutenant Governor is far from over, because there are still many grey areas, as you mentioned, many cases pending where a clarity needs to be given. And so in the next few days, we are expecting many developments pertaining to this. So clearly the Aam Aadmi Party, they're claiming victory is unfounded at this point in time, because there are many grey areas, many points that need to be clarified by the court here.
Well, Urvashi, certainly perhaps the claim of a victory was premature, given the fact that there are issues which are still outstanding, and the Supreme Court's mind on those issues is not known. What we have heard, and especially from some very senior cabinet ministers from the likes of Mr. Arun Jaitley, who have written extensively on the judgment yesterday, alongside opinions of the others from ASG Maninder Singh to BJP spokesperson Nalin Kohli, who was in an exclusive conversation with Mirror Now earlier, they have all expressed one common theme. One, the judgment of yesterday is being quoted from selectively. It is not being viewed in its entirety. And as Mr. Jaitley said today in his particular blog post, which he wrote on Facebook, that the judgment from yesterday, the verdict of the Supreme Court yesterday, has neither taken away nor added to any powers of either the state government or the central government. So clearly, Urvashi, there will be some very, very interesting days ahead, and this matter between Arvind Kejriwal's government and the Delhi LG is far from over.
Absolutely, Meenakshi, and we'll continue to track all the developments with you. Thanks for joining in and getting us those inputs for the moment.